Oh no. Alright. Hello. Welcome to the On Being 20 video. Wow, that is pretty crazy to actually finally say, and not in like a way that I'm talking to myself. Well, I'm still talking to myself, but you know what I'm talking about. I can see the fucking waveforms forming as I talk. As usual, I think before we start, I should throw up a trigger warning here. I'll throw up a more detailed one as I'm editing this, but because obviously I don't know what we're gonna talk about yet. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about this year, and it's been a pretty fucking difficult year. And like last time, I say last time when it was literally a year ago, and there's so much more of you now. There's no pressure to watch this. If any of that makes you uncomfortable, feel free to skip this one. I promise there are videos, a video coming soon. I've literally been working so hard on the Pokemon video. Throw up the thumbnail on screen right now. I was really hoping I could get it out before this one, but that just didn't happen. But yeah, as always, thank you so much for being patient with me, and yeah, I love you. Okay, 20. I'm 20. Throw Lisa Shock up on the screen again, because yeah, that's me. Alright, that's me. Maybe I'll throw it up a few other times in the video, and maybe it comes off as kind of jokey, but this, it's something. And before you're like, oh sweetie, it's not that old. Quiet, mother, and let me cook, alright? There is a lot that goes into what makes up our identity, you know, beyond just, you know, characteristics like gender and orientation, and I guess age would technically fall under that, but what I'm more talking about is memories. Most of my memories are from being a teenager, and all of the most important events in my life have occurred while I was a teenager. So it feels very big, because I'm by no definition am I a teenager anymore. And like I said, most of my memories are from being a teenager, because that whole big memory loss thing that the kids go through around like age 7. It's weird, but I don't know. Not only that, it's I've been doing a lot of reflecting as we come up to this one, because like I said, it feels significant, and I don't know. I think I was really nervous to turn 20 at first, but as we've gotten closer to today, I feel like that's not the case as much, for reasons that I'll get into. Saying that, it's still pretty fucking weird. I thought that I was ready. Not so much. Great start to the day. Like a little right after midnight, I had a fucking panic attack, so that's great. What a great start to this next decade of my existence. My thoughts are getting really muddled in my head, because there's just like a few things that I really wanted to talk about, because like I said, I've been reflecting a lot, and there's certain things that I've had out of my mind. As for what this last year of my life has been like, because that's supposed to be the point of these videos, beyond just how I feel about turning this age, it's been a difficult year. I was even considering just calling this video the difficult year, just to emphasize how difficult it has been, but I end up choosing consistency over the emphasis. I don't think it would be an exaggeration to say that this really has been the worst year of my life, which says a lot, considering I've been through so much. I've experienced trauma and abuse, and I watched my dad die, and so much stuff. Maybe I don't know how comfortable I feel with all that being out there. Maybe I'll end up like cutting some of it, or like censoring, but yeah, let's not. I don't think any of it is really new. As I talked about in the Yumeniki rambling video, losing that important person that I felt that I couldn't live without is still hard. It still affects me to this day. Even though it's been like pretty much over 6 months since I found out, which is fucking crazy. It doesn't feel that long. Not at all. And it doesn't feel that long since I last talked to her. It's still something that I really struggle with, as I just established, but and there's a lot that I don't understand about how to process that correctly and the way that I'm supposed to feel about it. But I think if there's anything I feel like I know for sure, it's that when you lose a really important person like this, it's not something that you just get over. You can't just get over that loss the same way you get over like anything else. It is a life-changing event that nothing will ever be the same, and I have to learn to live with that weight and the new normal of not having her around, which is difficult when someone represents safety to you and they made you feel safe and loved in a way that I don't really feel anyone could match or has matched in the past, at least. It's like I said in the I'll keep referencing the rambling video, but it's been such a struggle, and the reason why I keep trying to do things, even if I'm not necessarily successful always, because I stumble a lot, is because I want to live up to everything that she's given me. And as I have kind of alluded to in certain videos, and maybe even this one, I was not sure that I would be here to make this video. There were some points where I was very, very close, and I'm trying to come at this from a more, not necessarily, I don't know if I'd go as far to say that I feel hopeful, but I want to approach this from a more objective standpoint, because I've said many times I think that there is value in talking about these kinds of things, because it could help someone, even if that's just one person. And on the whole, these things need to be destigmatized, but I don't want to do that in a way that is counterproductive. If I was to sit here and list every awful thought that I've had, that's not going to help anyone, least of all me. I have to come at this in a way that is genuine to my experience, but also isn't going to do more harm than good, which is a difficult line to tread. But well, I can't promise I'll always get it right, but I promise I will always do my best. So moving on from that, I'm not necessarily ready to move on from that. Yeah, I really miss her, man. That is something that I'm always going to carry with me, and I think it speaks to how much I loved this person, that I continue to feel this pain and this grief by her continued absence. And this is something that someone pointed out to me like a while ago. That they see the effect that she had on me, and the fact that I can't just get over her really speaks to what an incredible person she was and how much she helped me. And they said, I guess I miss a person that I've ever met, which did a lot for me than I think they realized, because really that's all that I want. I don't want people to forget about her, because a lot of times, I don't have many friends left that knew her. Those, if any, a lot of those mutual friends have also left my life in other ways. So a lot of the time I feel very isolated and alone in my grief, and yeah, I don't want to be the only one that remembers this amazing and wonderful, kind person. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying. And I don't know, I think beyond that, something that has made it worse has been guilt, I guess. I don't know. I think I carry a lot of guilt around, and this is something that we'll also address later in the video, but I'm very much a person who feels responsible for my actions toward other people, and the fact that I was not able to help her when she has helped me, not just helped me, but essentially saved me, and I couldn't do the same for her, that I can't seem to fully argue away where I'm not, at least in part, responsible. And I think when we talk about the grief in general a little more, then I will say what I think I figured out, but it has just that I got trapped in that thought process, which is essentially what pushed me on those occasions to, But I do know, in the end, she wouldn't want me to feel that way. And I think that more than anything, regardless of anything, if that were, let's say that were true, the fact that I know that she would forgive me is more important than anything else. I don't know, I want to be able to shake this guilt, because to continue feeling guilty when I know that she would forgive me, if she hasn't already, or can't, or whatever, I don't know how the fucking afterlife works, man. If there is one, it's not fair to her. It's not fair to her for me to keep on taking that burden that she doesn't want me to have. I guess that's the way I view it. Moving back to where I'm at right now, though, you know that graph where it's like when you begin learning a subject, you know the least about it, but you have the most confidence, and as you learn a little more, there is a sharp decline before you start to get more confident, because you realize just how little you know and how far away you are from being proficient in that thing, or good in any capacity. That's where I'm at right now with life. I don't have this shit figured out whatsoever. Not at all. And that's why everything in this video, I don't have answers. There's no certainty. Don't take my word. Well, just don't take me at my word. Because I don't know. I'm just telling you how I feel. If 19-year-old Sina, that video last year, gave you any indication that she knew what was going on, no, she did not. She's a fucking idiot. She's no idea what's coming. Alright. Ignore her. Ignore the fucking goober with the really awful voice. And that's hard when you have all these awful things going on, to not know what it is all for, to not know the reason why you're suffering. It can fuck with you. Yeah, I don't have any fucking clue. But if there is one thing that I feel that I can say for certain, which brings me a great deal of comfort, which I don't know if everyone, if this is something a lot of people could say for sure. I feel like the younger version of me, if I were to have a conversation with her right now, she would be nothing but kind. I constantly worry about that. I have. Now that I've drawn that conclusion, I don't have to worry about it anymore. But I've heard that for a lot of people, processing trauma and things is in large part around expressing kindness toward your past self. For me, it could, obviously, there's still a lot unexplored there, but I feel like I hold my past self in such high regard because she is the one who went through all of those awful things and she endured them. So I wonder now, am I living up to everything that she fought so hard for? If anything, I am crueler to my current self and recent past self than I am to the previous me. to the much younger me that went through all of those things. And I think that she would be proud of the person that I've become. I have imagined it so many different ways, and maybe she wouldn't understand all of the choices that I made, but I have no doubt in my mind that she would be proud of me. And I don't know, I find that incredibly comforting. And I mean, I think the reason that I feel that way is because I've changed a lot in like a lot of ways, even physically. For let's not go further into that. And my voice is different, but I don't know if this is just a me thing or everyone does this, or if it's because those memories are like so strongly associated with my trauma. But I can see all of my memories like so vividly. I can picture them in my head as though I am there. Certain sights, certain smells, certain feelings, I can see them and feel them very, very clearly. I can see all of those events. My whole life between those bigger moments feels like a blur. It's in between all of those bigger, more impactful moments. Everything just seems to blend together. But in those through those moments that I can see like a lot, I can see myself grow up. I can see myself go through all of these awful things and fight so hard and so often lose and fail. But I watch myself get up again and again and again. And that's why I'm sat here right now. But I feel like over the years I've met so many people that have let the world change them, that have let their trauma affect the ways that they interact with people in a, let's say, negative way. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that there aren't ways that my trauma affects the way that I form relationships, because I do, right? That's not even a question. It definitely does. But in terms of my ideals, in terms of the things that I believe in, I have never once compromised those things. I've watched people go from caring for others to only caring about themselves, and I understand it. I really do. It's so hard. It is so hard to not start to think that way when you have been hurt so often. I can see myself getting hurt in those incredibly vivid ways, not just by one person, by numerous people, and even sometimes inadvertently. But in the ways that matter, I am still the same person. To me, those things in which were in large part nurtured by the person that I lost are as integral to me as my heart and soul and mind and all the fucking bodily functions. I seem to be physically unable to compromise on those things. I don't know. I feel like even if I haven't accomplished a whole lot in this past year, the fact that I have still endured and still am me and still have that really fucking annoying optimism, because it's pretty, I might be the optimistic person, but it gets really annoying and exhausting. I'm still me. No matter what, I'll still be me. And I don't know, I think that's important. Please, if you're watching this, if you're going through awful things, please don't let it change the way that you perceive people and the world and whatever. Yes, you're going to go through bad things. You're going to feel like you can't keep moving forward. You're going to feel like you even lose your mind, maybe. And you might even go through like a lot of trauma. I understand. And if you do, it's not something that I can hold against you, but please fight and hold on to who you are. Do not let these awful things in your life compromise your ideals and and who you are at your core. Don't become someone else because that's what the world has made you. Become the person that you were always supposed to be. And I know that I said don't take anything I said for certain in this video, but I really, truly do believe that. So I don't know. Like I said, in the weeks approaching this birthday, I have been reflecting a lot. It's in the past 10 years of my life, in the time that I was a teenager, from 10 to 20, which is literally an entire half of my life, I have been through so much, like a stupid amount of things, just so much hurt and trauma, but I'm still here. Like I said, in those memories, I have watched myself get hurt again and again, and for the past 4 years, I've done my best to process that and also chase loose ends to the point of fucking madness. But I think all this reflection has made me realize just how far removed I am from that stuff. It's like I said last year, the more the time moves on, the more I realize this isn't a dream. Every passing second, passing day, week, and another year, I get further and further away from those things from the past, which includes the good and the bad. And I definitely wasn't ready for how much of the good parts of my life I would lose, as well as the bad. I was not ready for that at all. I think that, I had to grow up in a very short amount of time, and out of everything, that is what I was prepared for the least. But I think that the reason I, like I said, felt more ready to turn 20 as I continue to reflect is maybe there's an opportunity. I was talking to an old friend recently, about something that happened long ago, and they were like, we're not kids anymore, and it's time to move up and to move on. And while there's a lot of things that I don't agree with that they said, maybe this is my chance to let go of a lot of those things, of the guilt of not being able to help people, especially that person I love so much, of all of the things that I've been through, of the pain and of people that have left and are definitely not coming back. As I have realized, I get to choose what I bring forward. I get to choose that, and I know what the most important parts of my teens were, and that's what I'm gonna bring forward. That's what I'll carry with me, and everything else is just something that happened in my teens, I think that in large part, and it's gonna, maybe sound a little cringe, but the story of my teens was all of this awful stuff that happened, just like a lot of stuff. It was the story of me having to grow up and deal with all of this pain and loss and whatever else. But I want the story of my 20s to be how I got closer to my dreams. And I can't say that I know that for sure, that is what is going to happen, but despite how fucking tired I am, I'm going to once again fight my hardest to make that a reality. At the beginning of the last, on the last birthday video, I started that video by saying, well, the most obvious question to ask here is, am I happy? So, am I happy? I don't really think that is a yes or no question. I think it's more complex than that, because there's been good things and bad things, like a lot of bad things, but there's been good things as well, and it all depends on how I view it. Yeah, I might not feel that wholeness that I talked about in that video as what I perceive happiness to be, but if there is one thing that I feel like I've realized for sure in this past year, despite how much I cannot stress this enough, just awful fucking things and all the fucking pain right up until the very, it's like I said, it's been a very, my voice is getting kind of, what's the word? Strained, I don't know. It's been a very difficult start to the year. It's always just one thing after another. But despite that, I can confidently sit here and tell you that I am so happy that I have lived. Just really happy about that. I hope that you're having a wonderful day, and I would like to once again thank you for your patience in making videos. I will get back to editing the Pokemon video tomorrow, assuming I'm not too hungover. But yeah, thank you for listening to me ramble for however many minutes that this turns out to be, because there's been a lot of pauses and I'm gonna have to sit here and edit those out. And if you're out there and feeling like you disagree with what I just said, I truly wish nothing more than for you to one day be happy that you have lived. I love you, and goodbye. Thanks. Please, God, let this be a good year.